Let's go to my, for now at least, final animation cancelling or core mechanics ranger guide. The skill we're going to talk about is Penetrating Wind. Now, this is like a pretty infamous skill. It is pretty much the highest skill, or the highest range skill rangers have. Let's just see if I can show you how big the range actually is. Like, we should still be able to hit Q from this distance. We are. But I assume at this point Q will not hit anything anymore. And if you see me charging up this skill, alright, you can see that I will still be able to target it. I'm gonna just put a marker down here to actually see the distance of it. Does it say? Yeah, it's about 60 meters to the house. So let's see if I can hit a Q from this distance. No, I cannot. But Penetrating Wind will still be able to hit that. That pretty much means this is most likely your best option if you want to snipe people with it, as it still deals quite a lot of damage. Not as bursty as the shotgun move, but it does not require you to stand at a relatively short distance to your target. Also, it has an innate crit ability. That means it will always land as a critical hit, which makes this ability pretty damn strong. The question is, how do you actually use this in a canceling move? Now, there's two ways to use this in a combo. Depending on, like, it doesn't really matter which way you want to use it. The skill you want to take to make this work is Flow Sharp Feather 1. Now, this skill, if you look at it, it says after you hit with a round kick, you can use Penetrating Wind by pressing Shift and LMB. That kind of like makes it a really not really desirable skill, because that would mean you would have to be in melee range to your target. But there's a pretty nifty way around this. You kind of abuse the game engine, I guess, because the game doesn't necessarily look for the kick to be connected, but instead it's looking for any type of hit. So what that means, let me just show you one way of doing it. You can see me, I'm literally not hitting anything with my kick, and I'm still able to pull off Penetrating Wind. In case you think I will press the hotkey, I'll just remove it. So now I have absolutely no way of executing this skill by pressing it on the hotkey. So let me just see, hit, and there we go. You do have to hit all of the moves for this to work, because if you do start missing one of these hits in between, this combo will screw over, making this probably the hardest thing Ranger can pull off. But once you get it down, it actually is pretty rewarding. So what you will want to do is try to get the timing down and start practicing this. As I said, this is probably the most advanced thing Rangers can do, so I wouldn't worry about it too much once you start learning everything about Ranger. But once you got every other mechanic down, you should be trying to start incorporating this as well, as it deals a pretty good amount of damage. It has a pretty good AoE as well, and it doesn't split up the damage between targets, so that makes it a pretty decent amount of damage it can dish out. It also has a knockback ability, however, I would not try to use this as a CC in PvP, as it usually does nothing instead of damage. But as I said, trying to snipe people who run away works like a charm with this skill. Now, this is one way of doing it, which is basically like dashing, and after each dash you can use this. But there is also another mechanic, which is a lot harder to pull off. I'm not exactly sure if I will be able to pull it off 100% of the time. But let me just try and show you what it should be looking like. No, I kind of screwed it up. And, right. That's how it works. Basically, what you're abusing at this point is, as I said initially, Sharp Feather does not necessarily look for a kick to be connected, but for any type of hit. So what we're abusing is this mechanic and firing off this skill. That was too slow. Just get this down. Alright. No. As you can see, this is pretty tricky to pull off, so this requires a lot more practice than anything else. But once you get it down, it is still, like anything for Ranger, pretty easy to do. So the timing on the F button is absolutely crucial. As you can see, I cannot even pull it off 3 times in a row. This is actually pretty disappointing to myself. But let's see. That should work. Let's try this one more time. I assume you get the idea. Alright, that should work. No, it doesn't. What the hell? It's probably because I tried to record, so I'm messing it up right now. Alright, that works, I guess, at least 2 times. Alright, I'm gonna go for it one more time. And, there we go, 4 times in a row. So, as you can see, I can do it. It just takes a little bit of practice for me as well. I have not really mastered that move yet. But the thing about this move is, it is pretty simple. And if you try to look at the keyboard on the right side, all I'm literally pressing after I executed the first penetrating wind is I'm only rotating between my F key and pretty much only the F key. Like, I always hold Shift and LMB down. I never let go of these 2 buttons. The only thing you need to start doing is timing your F moves. There we go. I think I got it back again, my mojo. So, basically, all you need to do is learn the timing on the F button to make this work. As a reference, I currently have 3 attack speed. I should be able to pull it off with 2 attack speed as well, as it does not really have anything to do with attack speed. So let's just try this for reference. Well, obviously I screwed up. That was kind of to be expected. Yeah, it works pretty fine as well. So it has absolutely nothing to do with attack speed. This is really pretty much the hardest move I can think of right now for Ranger. Timing on the F button is crucial. As you've seen, I'm not fully able to do it as well. But let's just assume you learn every other move for Ranger. This is probably the last thing you want to focus on. Anyways, that's pretty much all I will teach you about animation cancelling, using certain skills while doing dashes, and abusing certain game mechanics to either dish out a lot of damage or keep your mobility so you can be on the run and pretty hard to target for other people. I will make a Ranger like a full guide on skills, items at some point, but for now this is really all I will do. And as with the other videos, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I will try to answer them as best as I can, or maybe even make an answer video if I really screwed up at some point. But I think you should have gotten the idea with the 5 skills I was talking about. So basically, hopefully this will be helpful for you on your Ranger journey into Black Desert. And yeah, hopefully I will see you once I will make the Ranger guide as well.